The Packers will have a first and goal. Receiver to the right, Jimmy Graham. Rodgers, quick toss in the flat, left side, got his man for the end zone, and a touchdown.
First and Goal podcast on Spreaker.com. And we're now on all your favorite platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Cashbox, Google Podcasts, Tumblr, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can always follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod and our Facebook page, facebook.com/First and Goal Pod 33.
Get money, yeah. Every day I'm hustling. 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 3, 2, 1, hey!
And welcome everybody to another live edition of First and Goal with me, your founder and producer, Jay in the UP, and your host with the most down in Georgia, Dave.
What's going on, football fans?
And also,
how are we doing tonight?
Since it's Tuesday, we also have in Georgia also Agent Busby with your fantasy files. What's up, Agent Busby?
Hey, what's up, First and Goalies? What's up, Fantasy World?
What's up, Dylan?
All right, guys, we are going to jump right to it so we can get to Dylan's fantasy files. So, first of all, we have to get to news updates. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, there's a couple that the Packers are usually quiet at this time. They aren't usually involved in the supplemental draft. But there's a guy by the name of Jalen Thompson out of Washington State. The Packers not only had a workout today with, they flew him to the facility today, and they really are interested in this kid. And I can see them possibly giving up a third-round pick for him that would complete the safety room and get Josh Jones traded soon. That, to me, that would just round out the room with complete talent. And then moving on to another thing, it's kind of important, but it's also, I mean, it's a touchy subject. Tyreek Hill. He had some news come out lately with an audio clip, and now he's denying it, but it's not making him look any better, and it might, from what I've been reading, it might be more than a 4-game suspension because of how bad the extended audio clip sounds now. So we can see him possibly get suspended even longer than 4 games than we originally thought.
Anything else for us, Dave?
No, but what I really want to hear is some fantasy news.
Ooh.
Fantasy news? That sounds like it's time for fantasy files.
I'm sorry, was I not supposed to transition?
I need to win this year. That guy right there, he's going to help me win.
Okay, what do you got for us fantasy files-wise this week, Dylan?
Agent Busby.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Agent Busby here. Yeah, I'll piggyback a little bit off of what Dave just said as far as Tyreek Hill goes. I think I know the audio clip you're referring to about how his girl should be afraid of him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that came out a little while ago. And, I mean, even after that came out, the DA has already come out and said they're not going to pursue any more criminal charges, and the police are sounding like they don't want anything more to do with it. If you ask me, I mean, it sounds like Tyreek may have thrown his lady some money or promised her this and that. I'm not sure because she was saying stuff, now she's not saying stuff. But
the Ben Roethlisberger treatment.
Exactly. Fantasy-wise, I mean, like I said before, if he gets 4 games, a little impact for Mahomes. If he gets 8, that's a huge impact for Mahomes. But other than that, nothing too crazy going on. Immediately, fantasy news-wise, I did read today that Cortland Sutton wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, is looking like a true wide receiver one out there. So if you do believe in Joe Flacco, if you do believe in the potential of Cortland Sutton, then definitely keep your eyes on Broncos camp and practices, see what's shaking up out there, because last year Emmanuel Sanders was the man out there until he got injured. So keep your eye on what's going on in Denver. Maybe Cortland Sutton's the guy to target an extra round ahead or so.
Didn't I see
a
tweet from you earlier, Dylan, about tight end rankings?
Yes.
Tight end rankings. I got the top 10 for you tonight.
Woo!
That's right. I'm going to do it pretty similar to how I did the top 10 quarterbacks last week. I'll just rattle off the 10 to 5 real quick, and then from 5 to 1, I'll give a little detail. So here we go. Without further ado, top 10 tight ends as of July for 2019. Coming in at number 10, we have Eric Ebron of the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh, I thought he'd be higher.
Number 9. Well, yeah, 13 touchdowns led the league last year in touchdowns as far as tight ends goes, but he's flat 10 because there's kind of a committee thing going on out there.
Yeah.
Number 9, O.J. Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 8, we have the man who missed all of 2018, Mr. Hunter Henry of the L.A. Chargers. Number 7, we're doing the Vance dance with Vance McDonald of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Sleeper.
That's right. Number 6, we have the often injured Jordan Reed. And now, 5 through 1. Coming in at number 5, we have, wearing the disgusting colors of the rival New York Giants, Mr. Evan Ingram. No Odell Beckham Jr. in New York means huge targets, 100-plus targets missing. And they didn't really replace him with another big playmaker. I know they signed Sterling Shepard. Not Sterling Shepard. They have Sterling Shepard. They signed Golden Tate. Shepard can make plays deep, but that's not really his thing. It's definitely not Golden Tate's thing. He's more of a catch at the line of scrimmage, give you short stuff. So I think as far as the receiving game goes for the New York Giants, it's going to be a lot of dink and dunk. And they're hoping that the 4-3 speed, 4-3 40, Evan Ingram can stretch the field, get over top of those safeties, and score some touchdowns. His rookie year, he had 115 targets and 6 touchdowns. So the guy can definitely put up some numbers. It's just that he only started 11 games his rookie year and only started 8 games last year. So there's room for potential, and there's definitely room for improvement as far as Evan Ingram goes. If he can get a full season without Odell Beckham Jr. in the mix, I think he can really put up some big numbers. Coming in at number 4, we have none other than Jared Cook of the New Orleans Saints. Jared Cook is switching teams this year. He's going from the Oakland Raiders, where he had 896 yards last year, just shy of 900 yards, and the guy had 6 touchdowns on an Oakland Raiders offense that was abysmal. I mean, you could make the argument
it was bad.
It was awful. It was terrible. And you can make the argument that he was the only guy to throw to, but my counter argument to that is defenses were able to scheme toward him because he's the only guy to throw to, and he was still able to put up numbers. So if you want to argue that Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara are going to be a large part of New Orleans' offense, that's fine too. Listen, from 2011 to 2015, Jimmy Graham had 100-plus targets consecutive years, with Marcus Colston and Darren Sproles also getting 100-plus targets for each of those years. So the guy's still going to get a huge chunk of the offense. Drew Brees loves to throw to tight ends. It's just that last year they didn't have really anyone to throw it to speak of tight end-wise. So I think that Jared Cook is going to enjoy a great year, transfer those good numbers from Oakland down to New Orleans, and watch out for him this year, Jared Cook of the New Orleans Saints. Coming in at number 3, we have, it's too easy, I got to take the low-hanging fruit, Kittles and Bits, Mr. George Kittle of San Francisco 90.
Set records.
Yeah, listen, George Kittle was first in yards per game last year. It wasn't Travis Kelce. It wasn't Zach Ertz. It was George Kittle with 86.1 yards per game last year, and he did it with the least catches of the big three. I think George Kittle's going to be a huge weapon. You still have Dante Pettis, and other than that, two rookies in Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurd out there in San Francisco, and they still got
Deebo's going to be a beast.
Deebo could do well, but listen, Pettis was supposed to do well last year, but he said he had a hard time grasping the offense because it's that complicated. So I think these two new rookies are going to experience the same type of hump. And once again, George Kittle is going to be the most effective weapon out there in San Francisco for Jimmy Garoppolo to throw to. Hopefully Jimmy can stay healthy and George Kittle enjoys the type of year that we all think he can.
Every time I see George Kittle's name, I'm sorry, Dylan, I have to say this. Every time I see George Kittle's name, it's like I'm opening an English book in high school and I'm about to read some poem from 1800 by George Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle's and bits. I mean, like I said, of the big three, he had the least catches last year, only 88 catches, but he was able to convert that into the most yards because he's a big play guy, 1,377 yards.
Yes, number two.
Number two, we got my boy for the Philadelphia Eagles, Zach Ertz, breaking records last year, most catches for a tight end in a single season. Zach Ertz is going to have another monster year. Hopefully Carson Wentz can stay healthy the entire year. There's actually quite a few mouths to feed out there. That's the only thing that's keeping Ertz from number one, in my opinion, is you still got Alshon Jeffrey in the mix. Now you have Deshaun Jackson, and this kid, don't sleep on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the second-round draft pick from this year for the Eagles. He led all of college football in contested catches last year, and I think Philly plans to use him in the red zone. So Ertz may take a slight dip in touchdowns. He had 8 last year, 8 in 2017, so he's enjoying more touchdowns than he ever has. And he saw his most receptions last year, 116 on 156 targets, 1,163 yards. Yes, exactly. Zach Ertz is seeing a lot of balls come his way, and he's catching most of them. 74.4% catch percentage for Zach Ertz. Look out for him, number two.
Do you think Deshaun can take away some targets?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not too many. Deshaun's going to be mostly the 9 route, the go route, down the field, probably some hitches, but I don't think he's going to decrease his targets too much. Maybe Dallas Goedert. That's another guy who's going to dampen Ertz's numbers a little bit.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, look out for Goddard. And at number one, we have none other than Jason Kelce's own brother, Travis Kelce, for the Kansas City Chiefs. The guy's a beast. He's been a beast ever since he entered the league. He's seen over 100 targets since 2015. He's had over 1,000 yards for the past 3 years. Last year was his career best in catches. He had 103. And last year was his career best in yardage. He had 1,336. And last year was also his career best in touchdowns when he scored 10. So Pat Mahomes clearly making a difference in the ascension of Travis Kelce. And if Tyreek Hill gets suspended for even 4, but especially 8 games, look out for huge numbers with only Sammy Watkins and a couple other guys to throw to. Maybe McCole Hardman turns into something. But right now, Travis Kelce is just, you're licking your chops when you've got him sitting there. Right now, he's going at the top of the second round in most mock drafts. So there you go, guys. There's my top 10. To reiterate, Eric Ebron 10, O.J. Howard 9, Hunter Henry at 8, Vance McDonald at 7, Jordan Reed at 6, Evan Ingram 5, Jared Cook 4, George Kittle 3, Zach Ertz 2, and Travis Kelce number 1. Any questions?
I like the list. It's a couple jumpers in there. I'm surprised Hunter Henry jumped as high as he did, and he didn't play last year.
The fantasy files for this week. That was pretty good, Dylan. The players are out there.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Yeah, as far as Hunter Henry goes, no sample size from last year, but I think with the way Phillip Rivers has historically fed Antonio Gates the ball, and you got some weapons on the outside with Allen and Mike Williams opening up the middle of the field for Hunter Henry. So definitely watch out for him at number 8. I think he's a good value too. You're getting him in the 7th, maybe 6th